Greetings everyone, welcome to Team James Vlog. It's your boy Kyron. If this is your first time viewing my vlog, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification icon. Today I want to have a little conversation about the pros and cons of cell phones in schools. Now there's been a lot of controversy around children owning cell phones and having cell phones in school. Some parents are saying they are for it, some parents are saying that they are against it. And I went to Facebook today and I asked the question, cell phones in school, are you for it or are you against it? Now, in my personal opinion, I think it is very important for children to have a cell phone, or your child to have a cell phone. While I do understand that a lot of people may feel negatively about it, we have to consider some of the dangers that children face on a day-to-day basis, in and out of school. You have to consider that the times that we were in back then is not the same times that we are in now. Times change. We live in a society now where anything is possible. So I think having a cell phone, having your child with a cell phone is a key thing. As I told you before, I asked the question on Facebook today, and I took a number of people's posts, and I want to share some of them with you. One of the first comments that resonated with me was a comment made by Rushton Parry, the MP for Mayaro, and he made a very valid point. He said, cell phones are a critical part of the safety and security for kids to and from school. It provides parents with connectivity, which is very important. He further goes on to say, I suspect schools can enforce the no camera phones, but I am totally against the banning of phones in general. He further went on to give some things that we could do to assist. And one of these simple management suggestions were to provide a postpaid phone for your child, which I believe in. You can monitor the calls to and from the phone, and at times the phone is in use. When the monthly bill arrives, you can have a sit down and discuss the bill with your child. It's also a good way to see who your child is calling, what times. So instead of giving them a prepaid phone where you have to pay the phone, you have to put a phone card and you don't have no idea of who they're calling, that's a good way of tracking that. So in addition to posts where the Member of Parliament would have agreed with this measure, there were some people who really and truly were not really feeling the aspect of a cell phone for the child, stating that they would have grown up without a cell phone and nothing is wrong with them. These people may not fully understand the times we live in now. I have another friend whose status read something like this. Nicole states, to me the camera phones have been used for good and bad. The good thing is that we have evidence of what's taking place in the school across the nation, and that is a very, very integral point. A lot of people who think that by taking the phones away is going to take away the issues that we have in school. Now we've seen in the past where a lot of people have been sharing these fights with these young children, something I don't agree with at all, but sharing these fights with these children. And these fights start happening now. It has always been there, but because of the advent of technology and how easily accessible camera phones are, you now see what is happening in school. So it puts the administration in a very embarrassing kind of position. I understand why they may not want to have these devices in school. Now, I totally do not think an all-right ban or an all-out ban is necessary, but I think regulating the use of these devices in school is key. One of my issues and one of my pet peeves, or one of the things that I'm most afraid of, is that what happens when my child leaves school? What happens between the period when my child leaves school and my child arrives at home? Now, I'm lucky enough to have someone pick my child up who I respect, love, and admire, to take my child from school and bring her and my son at home. But what about the people who don't have someone that they can, quote unquote, trust wholeheartedly? What if they have to travel on their own? These devices can serve as a way to keep in contact with your children. There's also the case of children not feeling comfortable talking to their teachers or talking to administration about something that may be bothering them. And this is something that I spoke to my wife about, and I never thought about it, especially young girls. Let's say, for example, you have a child, a young girl, and something happens to her of a feminine nature, a personal feminine nature, and she doesn't feel comfortable calling or contacting someone in school. Your child could use this device to contact their parents directly. And with the good, there are also some bad things that goes along with the usage of these phones in schools, where we have children using these devices for things that they were not really meant for. We've seen some videos pop up that can seem a bit embarrassing to the children, to the school, and predominantly to the parents. But at the end of the day, these devices are highlighting or showing something that has been happening in these schools for far too long. Believe it or not, we live in a technologically advanced world, and things are moving forward. Another friend of mine on Facebook said, I agree with children having the use of a cell phone before and after school for communication purposes. I will admit that cell phones need rules and regulations, such as all phones must be turned off during school hours or tagged properly, deposited in a safe box in the office where someone must be held accountable for returning the phones. So by and large, a lot of people are not against the use of cell phones in schools. We do believe that there's a certain amount of regulation that must go along with this. As with everything in life, it must be used within reason and it must be used carefully and responsibly. We as parents need to teach our children what responsible usage of these devices can mean. We need to teach them that these devices are not a luxury, but it's also a necessity. If we teach our children the right things to do, it makes it easier for them to make the right decision. While I do believe there will be some people who don't think that children should have cell phones in school, I implore you to have an open mind. Think about the times we live in. Think about how things have changed. Think about the importance of staying in contact with your children. Think about the fact that they have that ability to stay in contact with you. And I want to close off by saying that technology is life, and life is technology. It all depends on how we utilize this technology. Makes a difference. Teach your children the difference between right and wrong. Teach them how to be responsible, and everything is going to be okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity to have this conversation with you. Thank you very much for viewing my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for joining my vlogs. Don't forget to like and subscribe my YouTube channel. We're going to have a lot of more interaction coming up in the near future. Not going to do it every day, but as often as humanly possible. Remember to be kind to one another, love one another, and I'll talk to you guys another time.